Hello everybody, welcome to the final episode of the year. Today I picked a bunch of holiday games on different systems, so a bunch of different Christmas games on different systems over the years, some new, some old. And if you have any games that I don't have on this list, or ones you think I should play, then let me know in the comments below, because I'm always looking forward to new games like this. But without further ado, sit back and let's check it out. Number 1 on my list. This is Cthulhu Saves Christmas on the Nintendo Switch. A H.P. Lovecraft character. Fantastic game, actually. I really like this game. This is my number 1 pick of the year. These are not in order, but I would say this is one of my favorites so far. Picked this up last year of all things. Cthulhu wants to destroy the world, but suddenly his power has disappeared. And there's some foul mist in the air and you can't figure out what's going on. And it turns out a band of Christmas evil characters have stolen his powers. So he must gather people along the way, some people to join him, and help save Santa Claus, because Santa Claus has been kidnapped, and save Christmas. And he wants nothing more than to destroy the world, but to do that, he has to get his powers back. So he joins forces with a snow queen, or a snow sprite, which is Santa Claus' niece, I believe it is, and a couple other characters along the way. And in between levels, as you can see, you can go to these different places around the North Pole, such as the movie theater, the soup kitchen and stuff. It has some storyline, and along the way you unlock an item at the end of it, and the item will help one of your characters get more powerful. So it's a pretty fantastic game. Graphics aren't bad. Definitely the storyline, the humor is fantastic. Game is actually a lot of fun. A solid RPG. And I believe there's also a Cthulhu Saves the World. So this is actually a short game too. I'm probably going to be able to beat it within 12 hours. So quick, fun little game to play. It's single player, no multiplayer, of course, since it's RPG. But if you want something quick to play, something to make you smile and laugh, definitely pick up Cthulhu Saves Christmas. So fantastic game. Now on with number 2. Number 2 has been in my backlog for a long time. It's on the Sega Dreamcast of all things. So it's had it in my collection, finally wanted to play it, and that is The Grinch. Based off of the movie from the 2000s, from the Jim Carrey Grinch, not the animated one. And it is actually a lot of fun. I really am enjoying this game. Got me good worried at first though, because the graphics are pretty rough even on the Sega Dreamcast for this game, because it looks pretty blocky. And I didn't really like the Grinch's design, with especially his mouth. I don't know, something throws me off with the way they designed his face. So I was a little worried, and especially the tutorial mode where you're walking around his cave to learn the different buttons and things. I was like, wow, there's not much to this game. There's not much details, nothing. So I was getting a little worried. I was like, I'm not going to like this, but I gave it a fair chance. So I played about 2 to 3 hours into it now. And I can see actually it is fun. There's some fun here. So as you get into Whoville, that's where all the details show up. And your basic job is to ruin Christmas for the Whos, just like he tries to do in the movie. So you're supposed to destroy all their snowmans, basically wreck all their gifts, basically create a bunch of havoc, as the Grinch always tries to do. And it's still actually a lot of fun. He can stealthily sneak past the police officer there, and he's got different arsenals. He can dress in costumes in the phone booths there, and of course he wrecks the mayor's painting because he has a grudge against the mayor, if you've seen the movie and you know why. So it's pretty cool. My only gripe is no sound by Jim Carrey, no voices. Santa Claus Jr., number 3 on my list. Now this game I've had for a while, and I've really enjoyed it over the years. This is a Game Boy Color game, and this is recorded on my Game Boy Pocket. Now I think it's cool that all the developers are here. Somehow they put their picture in the game in one big long picture there. Probably use the Game Boy camera somehow So basically, you are a kid who's been playing his Game Boy Color, and suddenly Santa Claus is shot down by an evil witch because she wants to ruin Christmas, and his suit falls down, and a fairy asks you to save Santa Claus. So you put on his suit and go out to save Christmas and see and rescue Santa. So basically, as you can see, fantastic animation in this game for a Game Boy Color game, and it's very colorful, very bright. The sounds are pretty good. It kind of reminds me of the music from Commodore 64, the sounds and stuff, but the graphics and everything is really over the top for a Game Boy Color game, and it's just a lot of fun. It's basically a platformer. You're basically trying to get all the candy canes and all the different items you have to collect and go through the level to the next while dodging all the enemies. So pretty fantastic. As you can see, this level has cats. Later on, there's squirrels that'll throw nuts at you. There's other creatures and things to try to stop you along your way from rescuing Santa, and it's just a lot of fun. You have to figure out how to get up to certain areas, like those funky, angry looking bird things there. But as you can see, for a Game Boy Color game, a lot of fun. And like I said, you can run into quite a few bad holiday games, but this is a good one. Number 4, Mario Kart. With the new expansions, now we have Merry Mountain, the Moon Cup. So definitely holiday inspired and fantastic, because now you can play multiplayer, and this game's always great to bust out with your family and friends. And as you can see, I'm racing Toad here. Here is Merry Mountain, and it's a really great level. So I think this is in the newest, I could be wrong, but I think this is in Wave 3, the newest expansion download. I could have been wrong. I don't know when they came out, but I think this was in the 3rd wave, if I'm correct. You can leave me in the comments if I was wrong. But as you can see, very nice level, and definitely holiday inspired. There's some gifts in the background, and a lot of fun. And like I said, if you have family and friends or you're taking your Switch along, it's great to have more than one single player game, so a multiplayer game. So this is great. Me, I have a lot of single player games because I'm pretty much, my family doesn't play. My family's real small, and unfortunately we don't have these cool multiplayer type games to play. But if you do, fantastic. I would also say, if you have the Nintendo Switch Online, the Mario Party games. And I've also heard of a game that I haven't played yet, and you can leave me in a message, called Jackbox. People keep talking about Jackbox, and they're going to be playing that over the holidays, so I'm going to have to check that out if I get a bunch of friends together. But just let me know which game you would like to play with your family, or if you're single, or just playing by yourself, what kind of holiday games you're playing. But as you can see, this Mario Kart is fantastic. I really like it. Graphics are very good, and it's a very solid track. A lot of fun. One of my more favorite tracks nowadays. Really love this holiday inspired track. So pretty awesome. Now on with number 5, sorry, I lost my count. Number 5 on the Game Boy Advance. I've been capturing these with my Analog Pocket. So the Analog Pocket really does a beautiful job of capturing footage. It's my preferred way of capturing footage, but here is Elf Bowling and Elf Paradise on the Game Boy Advance. Simplistic, it's a bowling game, and you're basically, they got funny little animations, and you're bowling for elves. So they got little funny animations they do in between scenes. Just a lot of fun. So definitely the Elf Bowling is simplistic, but it's solid. It's definitely worth playing, and it's also on the Nintendo DS. Now, I never had that version, so I can't tell you if it's a lot better or a lot worse, but the Game Boy Advance one is funny, and it does have some great sound effects too. You would think it doesn't, but they say little funny things. And it also has the second game on it called Elf of Paradise, which is shuffleboard, and you basically got these little Santas, and you got to pull their little the little thongs back and snap it and shoot them down the shuffleboard. And they say funny things too, and very fun. I would like to see somebody do a sequel with one of these games. Maybe on the Nintendo Switch, some more bonus games like that. That'd be funny. Play as Dingle on the second player. Dingle's used ice guy, and like maybe Santa Claus's friend or something, and you play shuffleboard against each other. So pretty fun, cool animations. If you go off the ship, there's a shark in the water waiting for you, which is kind of funny. So he'll come up and chomp you. And you can also do like a shuffleboard, try to knock their Santa off if they're got points and you need to get rid of their points. You can try to knock their Santa off into the water. Number 6, other Game Boy Advance game, Elf. Like I said, the Analog Pockets captured all the footage, and it's in 1080. So I'm really impressed with the footage that I've captured from these cartridges. And I'm impressed by the little still images that was put into the Elf game from Elf the movie. And basically your elf buddy elf, and it sends you on different missions. Like this is collecting gumdrops to jump higher and so on. And each level is kind of taking you through the storyline and going to New York, and just as the movie is. So pretty fantastic. As you can see, you play Buddy Elf, and this first level he's just collecting the candy and gumdrops and watching out for the polar bears. And you have no weapons or anything like that. You just have to jump over the polar bears, dodge them, dodge the obstacles, and get to the next level. And so it's pretty good graphics, a lot of fun gameplay actually, and bouncing on a big gumdrop there to collect the stars, which give you health, and collecting the lollipops there and through the candy cane forest. And it's actually pretty challenging actually. I ran into some levels where I got a challenge, so it's not easy and pretty fun. Unfortunately, not many sound effects like some of the other games, not the greatest sound effects, but overall gameplay is fun. Definitely worth checking out. And like I said, this is Elf on the Game Boy Advance. And as you can see here, each level changes it up. This I have to jump across the icebergs and collect the candy as I go through. So each level kind of changes it up, and they tell you ahead of time how it's going to change up and what you're going to have to do. So again, it gives you the missions of how to get through each level, the objectives, and it's pretty cool. Great game actually. Number 7, my final game on my list, another Game Boy Advance games. They had quite a few Christmas games, and this is a Polar Express Tom Hanks movie. So an adaptation of that game, or of that movie I should say, on this game here. And it does a fantastic job. I'm pretty surprised by the graphics and the gameplay is everything on here. It's a pretty solid game. So I'm pretty surprised that Game Boy Advance had such solid holiday games. So if you've seen a Polar Express, you know what has to happen. He has to believe. And so he has to ride the train on his adventure going to the North Pole. And fantastic graphics, great gameplay. You're basically riding the train loosely based on the levels. And as you can see here, the animations out the back of the window and stuff for a Game Boy Advance looks pretty good. And so let's go here and check it out. So as you can see, here is the candy canes. You have to collect those along the way. Collect the train tickets, everything, and kind of loosely follows the story. So we're trying to get the girl her ticket back so she can get back on the train so she doesn't get kicked off. And it's just a fun all-around platforming game with solid graphics, solid gameplay, and great sound effects. So definitely, if you're wanting to check out a holiday game, I would highly recommend this one as my top pick on the Game Boy Advance over Elf, because this was a pretty fun game overall for the gameplay and graphics. Elf is not bad, it's just that I think this one's more solid. So definitely fun. Like I said, my pick overall for this year of holiday games that I've played is definitely Cthulhu Saves Christmas, maybe because I'm an RPG fan and it's pretty short. It's about like, probably you can beat it within 10 to 12 hours. And I'm on the last boss myself, and I think I'm around 10 hours. So, but this is a great game. All these games are captured on my analog pocket. Anyways, pretty solid game. Really like it. So that is my last pick for the Game Boy Advance, and like I said, that is the Polar Express. Okay, so what'd you guys think of all the picks that I picked for this holiday special? Let me know if you guys have any that you think that I missed or you think are great ones, and I'll add them to the next one. There's probably games that I haven't experienced yet that you know about that I don't know about. I've heard everything from Jackbox. People are going to be playing that over the holiday, to the Mario Party games, but they weren't holiday based, so I didn't put them in here. I really like Cthulhu Saves Christmas. I do really like the Polar Express on the Game Boy Advance. I do like the Elf Bowling. That's a lot of fun. It's very simplistic, but it is a fun time waster, quick play here and there. Elf was a lot of fun, so a lot of Game Boy Advance, great holiday Christmas games, but definitely Cthulhu Saves Christmas. Well, anyways, that is it for this episode. I want you to know that I do have plenty of episodes coming up in the new year. Fantastic new shows. So anyways, that is it for this episode. I wish each and every one of you a wonderful and happy holiday. So take care, everybody. Until next time. Have a good one.
Merry Christmas! Ho, 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 ho.